All right, we are going to be reading a story today called The Day I Followed the Pickle. Let me get my device situated so I don't have to touch it as we read. So if you are going to follow a pickle, do you think this is going to be a fiction story or a nonfiction story? I agree. I think it's going to be a fiction story. Now you'll see that this book is a reader's theater book. And this is something that if we were not in a COVID year, we would be able to have small groups of kids actually sit and pick parts and read parts out of this text. The reason we have reader's theater and we like to do read alouds like this is so that you are really working on your expression, so that when you read a book, any text, it sounds like you're really talking. Okay, so when we read The Day I Followed the Pickle, I'm going to choose to read it to you because I want you to listen to how I use my voice. So today we have different characters, and the first character is Jordan, the second character Morgan. We have the pickle, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. And we have a setting. Remember back to the setting, that's where it is and maybe even when. So we are in Jordan's kitchen and the time is lunchtime in the present day. So this did not happen a long, long time ago, or it's not happening in the future. So characters and setting. Let's read. Now, when I'm reading, I am not going to read the person speaking. So you'll see that Jordan is in bold print. I do not read Jordan. I'm just going to read what Jordan said. I'm not going to read the name Morgan. I'm just going to read what Morgan said. So you're going to need to follow along and listen to the text, not the person speaking. Here we go. Yum, good grilled cheese, isn't it, Morgan? Yeah. Do you ever wonder what happens to food after you eat it? Not really. Well, I do. I think about it a lot. I mean, you eat it, then the rest is a mystery to me. I just eat it. Now here's the pickle talking. Do you see pickle is in bold print? And in parentheses it says whispering. That means the pickle is using a whisper voice. Hey, Jordan. Who's that? Did you hear something, Morgan? Nope, all I hear is you, and I'm trying to read this book. Hey, down here, Jordan, on Morgan's plate. Huh? I only see pickles. That's me, the small one. Pleased to meet you. You're a pickle, and you're talking. Pickle speaks. Sure, Morgan can't hear me, so listen up. I heard you were wondering about where your food goes after you eat it. Yes, I think about that a lot. Do you want to travel through a digestive system? Travel through one? Sounds weird. I guess it is, but what an adventure, too. I like adventures. Okay, let's do it. But how? What do we do first? First, we'll shrink you down very tiny so you can climb on my back. Then Morgan will eat us. But won't I get chewed up? You will stay whole. I'll go through all the chewing. Won't Morgan see all this? And Pickle's talking in the last paragraph. Are you kidding? Morgan is in another world. He doesn't even notice that you seem to be talking to yourself. Now, repeat after me. Hickledy-pickledy pack, put me on Pickle's back. Hickledy-pickledy pack, put me on Pickle's back. Wow, it worked! And look, Morgan's about to eat us. Hold on. Now Morgan's talking. Yum, pickle. We're in Morgan's mouth. The food gets chewed here. The smaller the pieces, the easier they are to swallow. Morgan's got pretty nice teeth. I can just see Jordan in Morgan's mouth looking around. Wouldn't that be weird if you were in your friend's mouth? Pickle. And here we go. What's happening? And Pickle answers. We're heading down the throat. Whee! Jordan talks. I feel funny. We're going really fast. Esophagus. Now, if you touch your neck, inside is a tube, and that is the tube that goes down from your mouth all the way down to your stomach, and that is the esophagus. Let's listen. Esophagus. Now for a great big hug. Who are you? Morgan's esophagus. The esophagus talks too? Sure, come down here and let me give you a hug. I'm not sure I want one. I'll squeeze you down into the stomach. My muscles will do all the work. Pickle's talking now. It will get a little bumpy. Hold on. Top of the next column. Esophagus speaks. Some people call me a gullet. I'm the tube that goes from the mouth to the stomach. Now squeeze, squeeze. It kind of tickles, huh? I guess. Well, here you are at the stomach. Enjoy the rest of your trip. Now the stomach is speaking. Well, hello. Welcome to the stomach. I'll just close up now so you can't get out. Tell us about yourself, stomach. I'm like a balloon. I can stretch. The more food you eat, the more I'll stretch. Now, time for a great big hug. And Jordan asks this question, more hugging? Yes, I have to break up the food by mashing and stirring it. Top of the next column. It's very wet in here. Indeed, those are the digestive fluids. They help to break up the food into small pieces. I'll never look at Morgan the same way again. Normally you'd be in here for a few hours, but since this is a special trip, we'll speed things along. Thanks. Pickle's speaking. The food has to get even smaller once it leaves the stomach. On to the intestines. Now the small intestine is talking, and you see in parentheses it says in a high voice. So we're going to use a little bit higher voice. Here we go. Hi there. I heard we had a visitor. Welcome to Morgan's Intestines. You said intestines with an S at the end, but you're just one big tube, right? That's right. We're like a big pile of garden hose, but we have two parts. The small intestine and the large intestine. Excellent. You'll meet my partner, the large intestine, in a little while. But first, a great big hug. Not again. I feel like I'm with my Aunt Hazel. She's a real hugger. Fluids help me break down the food even more. Your friend Pickle will get so small you will hardly be able to see him. This is when some of the food goes into Morgan's blood where it travels to the rest of his body to feed it. And the rest of the food? The rest goes to the large intestine. That's where the rest of me is heading right now. Morgan doesn't need some parts of me. Those parts won't be digested. They will come out when Morgan goes to the bathroom. And now it's time for us to say goodbye. You mean I won't go to the large intestine? That's a relief. Now the large intestine talks in a low voice. Good to see you, Pickle. Come on down. I'll be right there, large intestine. Well, thank you, Pickle. It sure was an adventure. I learned a lot. My pleasure. So how do I get out of here? Repeat the magic words. Hickledy-pickledy-pig. Let me out and make me big. Hickledy-pickledy-pig. Let me out and make me big. Hey, it worked. Huh? What worked? That was Morgan talking, wasn't it? So Jordan talks, and then Morgan says, huh? What worked? Oh, nothing. Now Morgan's talking. I don't feel well. Maybe it was something I ate. That sounds about right. Morgan says, I'm going to go lie down. You can have my other pickle. Do you think Jordan's going to eat the other pickle? Here's what Jordan says. Thanks. Pickle? I think I'll have a carrot stick instead. The end. Now we have a glossary, and we've been talking about that as a text feature. And we see digestive system, esophagus, fluids, gullet, intestine, and stomach. So you can certainly pause and read more about any of those parts. But this is a fun story about how food travels through you and goes all the way from your mouth down to your large intestine. Now, we don't have a page that you're going to necessarily read with partners, but in your little packet, in your benchmark packet, there is a couple of pages that were pulled from this book for you to practice reading. So I would like for you to re-listen if you need to, but practice reading a few times on your own, a section from that page, maybe 30 seconds or so worth. And then if you would please record yourself reading a section that you practiced. So go to your benchmark booklet, find this story, or at least a couple pages from it. I don't think the whole thing is written. And then your job is to practice a section just like you are an actor or actress, and you want that reading to be smooth and with some great expression, real good fluency. Record yourself reading